Hello, everybody. Monday is here. The National Weather Service has issued winter storm warnings for parts of the area. I'll have details on what's going to happen as this storm is now getting a little bit closer into the area. Now, it does look like we'll have a chance of some significant rain, drought busting or impactful rain, as well as some significant snowfall over 6 inches. Your forecast begins right now. But first, my friends at Robert Gibbons Sons have been providing service to the region for over 100 years. So if you have heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical needs, give them a call, whether it's at the home or the office. Please let them know that Hutch sent you. All right, let's talk right away about what we have with all the watches and warnings across the area. The map is a big mess, but we're going to boil it all down for you. If you have a question, as is always the case, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or on hutchesweather.com, look at this. Now, look at this. The Red River Valley has no alerts, no warnings, watches, or products from the National Weather Service. It's because the uncertainty here in the Red River Valley is a little bit higher with regards to the impacts of the storm. But I will walk through my forecast here in just a minute and tell you just a little bit more about what it is we're going to see. Wind certainty along the I-94 corridor. Yes, there could be some flakes of snow as well, but there's a wind advisory here to the south, wind warning in the Black Hills, and just downwind from those Black Hills across parts of South Dakota. Now, in northern parts of North Dakota, there is a winter weather advisory, Minot, Williston, Crosby, and that extends all the way down here through the Highway 200 corridor. So McLean County, Sheridan Wells County, and on down toward the Devil's Lake Basin. These blue counties, a winter storm watch has been put into effect by the National Weather Service. A watch means the ingredients are here, but we're not certain just yet as to the high impacts of the particular storm system. Will it be 3 inches? Will it be 6 inches? Here's where we're more certain that there will be impactful snow. So if you are in that Rolla Rugby area on north into the Bottineau Hills area, you can expect significant impacts from this system. A winter storm warning is issued when snowfall over 8 inches is going to be a possibility in the area, and that'll be the case. Brad, Brenda, good to have all of you on board. Kathy, thank you so very much for joining me. You can always drop a comment here, question. I'll do my best to keep up with it. Nathan, it's always good to see you once again. Let's get to a look at what we have going on with regards to this storm system. But first, it's going to begin as rain for many of us, and there's some significant rain that could be coming as well with this storm system. So we're going to go ahead and pop up a graphic on rainfall potential, because this is pretty impactful when it comes to drought across our region. Speaking of which, here's a look at the drought index in North Dakota. And when you look at the drought index latest release last week in North Dakota, the red areas are extreme drought. Unfortunately, the western reaches of North Dakota will not see nearly as much potential for snow or moisture with this system. But we do have the onset of drought in portions of the eastern third of North Dakota as well, from Grand Forks, where it's yellow and that's abnormally dry, to the southeast quadrant in Richland County. So from the Wahpeton and Breckenridge area, we have what's considered to be severe drought in some areas. Now look at Minnesota. It's no picnic there either with the drought conditions in your area. From the drought monitor, a lot of orange or severe drought from the Arrowhead of Minnesota and the Iron Range right through the Bemidji area, Park Rapids, and portions of Lakes Country, including all of Becker, Otter Tail, most of Clay County. That is severe drought. It's been darned dry, but there is going to be drought-busting moisture in the way. Here it is. Here's a look at our forecast for rainfall potential, and this also does include moisture from this storm in the form of rain. So it starts as rain for many and switches over to snow. This is an account of the potential for liquid equivalent through Thursday at noon. Now, taking a look at this, out to the west, we will have some impact there, but the greatest impact will be around a half of an inch or so, a quarter to a half of an inch in the oil patch. Crosby, Watford City, Williston, maybe out towards Plentywood and Sidney, Montana as well. Pretty dry, though, as we look into the Badlands here of South Dakota and the Medora area, not seeing too much. McLean County, Oliver County, as well as the Bismarck area, it starts ramping up considerably. Many will see a solid ½ inch to 2 inches of rainfall, and this extends all the way down to the Twin Cities, the Arrowhead of Minnesota, getting just a little bit less. So there is a lot of moisture available with this system. Now let's take a look at an hour-by-hour model. We're going to look at the European model here just for the timing, and this gives us a national look at what's going on right now. We have the low-pressure center. It's located down in the Central Plains, and it's zipping up north. Now, The question is, and what makes this a challenging forecast is the fact that we have a dynamic system taking place with temperatures that are above freezing. That's where we expect rain, and below freezing. But this warm air is going to get scooped up and thrown over the top of a colder pool back on the west side of the system. Some areas will see all snow for much of the event, while others of us see rain for a significant portion of the event. And until the details of this system and how the temperatures mix and mingle as we get it into the northern plains become a little bit more clear, well, then we'll see the impacts on the Red River Valley. Thank you so much as well. Welders Girl 798 Welders Girl. Good to have you on board. Thank you very much. I appreciate you for watching. Let's take a look at this model here. This is the European model, and it shows that as we head into the nighttime hours, this is first thing in the morning on your Tuesday. Rain over much of Minnesota. So overnight it begins here as rain, and it'll be heavy rain even late this evening in southern Minnesota. By the time we get to daybreak and overnight, we're going to see some very heavy showers, and this will be pushing through the I-29 corridor of the Dakotas right here. That's the I-29 corridor. Snow in the elevated terrain of Montana and Saskatchewan. Now, as we go through much of the morning hours, look at mixed precipitation here where we see the pink colors, and out in northwest North Dakota, we'll see a chance for that snow to begin already. Now, the low pressure center parks in the Arrowhead of Minnesota, north central Minnesota. Look at this shape to it. We're going to have that diagonal shape to the precipitation field with this system, the way it looks. When this type of a setup happens, we see a couple of different things. Number one, a chance for some enhanced precipitation. Let me not skip too far ahead here. Sorry about that. Some enhanced precipitation as this system draws the warm, moist air up and throws it back over the cooler air. There'll be some, what we call it kind of a ramp, where there's a lot of additional lifting with regards to this system, and that's going to take place from Winnipeg out towards Brandon, Manitoba. You'll see the darker blue shades there. Heavier, more concentrated snow, even on Tuesday mid-morning. So as we go through mid-morning and midday, the snow continues. Now, it looks like the system will push all the way up into parts of Canada. Things quiet along the I-94 corridor in parts of North Dakota, and then the wraparound snow will work its way across the region and through. This lasts into Wednesday. This is Wednesday midday. So we'll see a chance for some snow with light to moderate intensity working its way through the region. Now, let's get a closer look at our area here with a high-resolution model, because the high-resolution models are starting to get us into the teeth of the storm. But because it's a two-day event, it's only getting us really good details on tomorrow, and we're seeing a little bit of uncertainty yet on Wednesday. And that is why we still have some, well, unsettled things in the forecast. But let's go ahead and talk about what we do know and what we have higher confidence in. Heading into the nighttime tonight, let me go ahead and move this over so I can get out of the way. Now, what you're going to see, this is about the 10 o'clock hour as we go in towards midnight. Rain developing here, southeast North Dakota, much of southern Minnesota, snow in the big sky country of Montana and the oil patch of North Dakota. Heading through the deep overnight, here's midnight. It's pushing up into the northern part of the valley. Winds picking up. It'll be southeast and easterly. But notice it has a turn towards northerly winds here in the western part of North Dakota and central North Dakota, which should allow cold temperatures to start arriving there first. Here is daybreak. This is 6 a.m. We're going to see a little bit of mixing over with some snow here and some heavier precipitation in the form of rain falling in the valley. This is morning time. Temperatures will be as warm as they'll be for most of the day. We'll be steady Eddie temperature-wise across Minnesota, with snow developing in and around the Devil's Lake Basin, Nelson County. If you're in Walhalla, Langdon, Rolla, Rugby, all the way out towards Bottineau, Kenmare, these areas will have a good chance at seeing some snow, as will be the case in the Minot area. Now, here's one challenge, just to throw this nugget out there. There is what we call a chance that these systems can get what's called a dry tongue of air working its way in. And when that happens, it can kind of cut off the snow pretty quickly. Those details, well, yep, there is some drier air that's down south that could get sucked in, but the models don't always handle that exactly well. Now, as we take a look, notice north of Interstate 94, snow could be heavy at times near the international border, near places like Walhalla and Cavalier. We could then see it quickly quickly transitioning to rain. Well, transition to snow, when does it happen? Here is a look at midday on Tuesday. So if you're in the Fargo-Moorhead area, heavy rain as we start the day, and then it quits. And we could see upwards of an inch or more here in the FM area. Same thing goes for much of Lakes Country in Minnesota. Our chance for snow development, look at this secondary band that sets up down here as we go through the event, as we head into your Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. So most of the impacts here in the Red River Valley and parts of western Minnesota, northwest Minnesota will happen by Wednesday morning. Okay, so even though we have advisories out for our western counties, it's going to be going and ongoing for much of the day on Tuesday. That's where the warning is. But there is a chance that we could see some significant impacts here in the valley with light to moderate snow, maybe briefly heavy at times. Look at these isobars aplenty. That means very gusty northwest winds, falling temperatures, and this is just midnight. So overnight, we had to bed. Look at these little periods of moderate to heavy snow, mainly north of Highway 200. See where the darker blue are, but we are not excused from the activity of snowfall here in the Southern Valley. So it will be extremely windy up in parts of the Bottineau Hills, Rugby, Rolla, and the Devil's Lake Basin. So if you're in Stark weather, get ready for some Highway 2 blasts of wind and snow working their way through. Look at how long this lasts. We're now approaching the midday hour on Wednesday, and this system starts to slowly slide back down to the south. And folks, it's heading toward the southern Great Lakes region. So it looks like it's moving north into Canada. It hits the brakes, which you shouldn't do anyways real quickly as you are driving on this nonsense. Okay, and then it works its way south and into the southern Great Lakes area. Now, this model is only going out until we get into Wednesday midday. It's not taking it into Thursday, which snow will sweep through Minnesota and continue at least in light fashion here with decreasing winds, and things do start to improve on Thursday. All right, let's take a look at some snowfall potential with this system. Now, it's close enough where Hutch can be fairly confident. I just showed you the rainfall and the total moisture graphic here just moments ago. Now we'll get into the snow details that you need to know. So let's start with a look at that right now, and I'll remind you what that looked like as far as the rainfall potential went with the system. So here we go. Brace yourselves. It does look like you're going to see something pretty interesting. We're going to start with this 4-panel graphic that I've been using the last few days to compare all of the global scale models. And I just showed you a high resolution model, which is now helping us discern that north central North Dakota is really the place where things will be happening. Take a look at what's going on the Canadian model. Now, as I zoom in just a little bit up here, you can kind of see North Dakota here. And in North Dakota, here is that secondary band that doesn't develop until Tuesday night and Wednesday. This is not tomorrow. Okay, the timing for the valley and parts of western Minnesota as far as snow goes is mainly late Tuesday night and into Wednesday morning. But we are seeing some snowfall potential on the Canadian model here. The big winner with over 8 inches of snow right up there in the Bottineau Hills. Now let's take a look at the American model. Yep, skippy dippy. It's the same bit song and dance. We still have an area of snow potential here in the Southern Valley and extreme northwest Minnesota. And the snowfall amounts seem to be fairly consistent with heavier amounts in and around the Bottineau area. Now let's take a look at another model, the European model. More widespread in the heavy bands of snow. Look at this. It does extend all the way into parts of McLean County, Sheridan County for you folks there as well, and Wells County, and not far from Grand Forks, kind of kissing the northern Red River Valley. You get into the Southern Valley, and it does have an enhanced band here, not far from Fargo and Hankinson alike. Now, the German model, really the outlier. So we've seen 3 models. This is the 4th. This one has mainly everything pushed off to the west. It still confirms and really does put an exclamation point on where the warning is from our friends at the National Weather Service. That's up in north central North Dakota. So they're doing a fantastic job. And again, a look at that. We do have a winter storm warning, and I've got my forecast coming up here just in one moment, but winter storm warning in the northern part of the valley, the Devil's Lake Basin, a little uncertainty there yet, and there's still a lot of uncertainty here in the valley, but Hutch is getting a gut feeling that we're going to see some snow here, and particularly just as we go off to the east into parts of Minnesota and the Southern Valley. I'll tell you why. So it's going to be windy, it's going to be snowy. We'll have to remember that wintry travel condition. So with all of that information that we've just went over, let's go ahead and put up Hutch's forecast. And this is still saying snowfall potential, but I will say this is my forecast now, but there are some uncertainties in it. So what I'm doing to handle those uncertainties is a range. And I'll explain what the range of snowfall amounts means here. To be clear, again, this is potential snow. And as you know, when snowstorms hit, let's say the Fargo area or Grand Forks, the east side of town can get very little while the west side of town gets shellacked. It happens all the time. So being precise with snowfall totals can sometimes be difficult in systems like this where we are going to see banding of heavier snow here and there. Where those bands set up, well, not always the same every time. And models don't do a consistent job of handling that. So Hutch has a range here, if you see the Southern Valley, of 1 to 4 inches. I could put a plus mark there, but suffice it to say, I'm very confident in all of this area here. We're going to see a good 1-2 inches of snow for sure. I'm very confident of that. However, we could see some isolated areas, particularly my feeling as we get to the east of the Red River Valley, of seeing upwards of 4 inches of snow. So if you're out in Hawley, those areas, I think we may see some enhanced snow there on the rise in the terrain that happens there thanks to our winds being from the west and northwest. Also, these are the Sisseton Hills. Those tend to amplify some snowfall totals there. So I'd have a plus sign there where we could see over 4 inches of snow. I put 2 to 6 in the Grand Forks area. What does that mean? That means I'm confident we're going to see most areas getting 2 inches of snow in and around Grand Forks all the way up to the international border. Yes, that includes Kennedy, Hallock, and those of you in the western reaches of Polk County for Stephen and Argyle. However, there will be some banding here, and the potential for 6 very close to Grand Forks appears to be possible as you look at this more enhanced colors here. And that's confirmed on more than one model. That's why I'm going ahead and putting some numbers on us here in the valley. Now, as far as what we're seeing with regards to the Botno area, I've got 4 to 9, but there should be a big plus mark somewhere around those hills near Botno. I do anticipate that we're going to see some enhanced snowfall totals that could be greater than 9 inches. But most places along the Devil's Lake Basin and points north, I'm very confident we're going to see 4 to 6 inches, with many areas getting over 8 inches of snow. Not widespread, but in those narrow bands. And it does look to be most likely where all the models are highlighting that Botno County area, as we go in toward Towner County. And look at this, an enhanced band of snow also for you folks in that Langdon to Walhalla area. So if you do have a question or two, I'd be happy to try to answer that. Northern Grace, good evening, and thank you for watching. I appreciate you watching on my YouTube channel. If you're watching on YouTube, it really does help me out to hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe to my channel there. Good evening. Good to have you on board. Candy, thank you very much for watching, and thank you for the updates. So this is my going forecast for now. There can be some fine tuning, particularly in our eastern counties here, as things set up throughout the day tomorrow. And we'll see if that storm system is going to take the track that 3 out of 4 models are showing that it looks like it will, and that will give us some enhanced concept there. Here's a look at what's going on right now as we head back over here. We're going to take a look at our graphic. I'm going to start erasing some of my fancy text on here, and let's go ahead and look at this storm system. Temperatures right now are as warm as you'll see. Hutch's forecast said, yep, it looked like a great day out there. We're hitting 54. I said we'd hit 53, I think, is what my 7-day was. We're at 52 now. I think we did hit 53 degrees, 46 Grand Forks, 39 as we look up to the north for you folks near the Langdon area. Roseau, 43. How about Babe the Blue Oxen? Good day in Waskish, 46 there. In Bemidji, 45, 50 for Detroit Lakes and for Fergus Falls right now. So this will be the last 50-degree day, I'm confident in saying, for some time, as we have some mighty cool air pooling up to the north and west. And look at this. We drop from the 30s and we get into the elevated terrain. We're in the teens in western Wyoming. So there's plenty of cold, dry air for this system to deal with as it works its way into our neck of the woods. Now, let's take a look at that radar and see if this thing is out to lunch, or if we're starting to see that rain move into southern Minnesota like the model I showed. Illustrated. Yep, here it comes. So the heaviest of the rain hitting Minneapolis, Rochester right now, Marshall, all the way through the eastern one half of South Dakota, Sioux City, Iowa, picking up very heavy rain. It's all rain right now as it's moving out. You can see the low pressure center right here. There is a report of some damaging winds here, a storm report. Russellville, Kansas office saying that the Russell Airport was a 66-mile-per-hour thunderstorm gust from storms there. Those thunderstorms are expected to be strong to severe, working through parts of Arkansas where some of the moisture is greatly needed. We have strong to severe thunderstorms and an active tornado warning. What? Look at this as we go across the border from the hills of Texas right into parts of western Louisiana, not far from Jasper, that little pink box there. That is an active tornado warning right now. Let's see if it's an observed tornado warning. It is a radar indicated tornado warning. So this is a huge storm system. If you really can take just a moment to think about how much rain and the size and aerial coverage of impacts from this storm system, as it's going to work from here to center low pressure. Our models and forecasts said it's going to set up and park and set up shop in Minnesota, go north like it's going to act like going into Canada, and then head back south again. And that's why our impacts will be a little bit prolonged. Joni, thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Let me check on my channel over here and see. We've been rating pretty steady. Browns Valley for roughly an hour. Thank you very much. What about for Polk County? Chrissy, it looks like Polk County, particularly the western reaches of Polk County, the western one half. You get out towards, say, west of Foston and Fertile and points west have a better chance at seeing some impacts from snow, but there's some beneficial rain coming, right? We went over the drought monitor as well, so I hope that helps. Snowfall will not begin in our area until we get through our Tuesday night and head into Wednesday morning. So don't worry about that. We're not blowing this up. We're just telling you the facts the way I see them as a meteorologist. This is all wet water right now. Look at the mountains of Montana. Hey, let's take a look at this on the radar. It's showing snow by Hardin, Montana. This is Hutch's old stomping grounds. Billings West High School. Go Bears. Look at this. Sheridan, Wyoming. Wow. There's some enhanced snowfall being picked up by the radar here as you go south on Interstate 90 down there south of the Billings area. So now we can take a look at one of the tools I love to be able to pull up just in real time with you is DOT cameras, right? So let's go to Montana, shall we? Let's visit the Big Sky Country and show you what's going on there. Here is your in-depth look at this storm system. Now, if you look near Jordan, I see some pink roads here, right? Jordan is south of Fort Peck Reservoir up there. And let's take a look at a camera. That pink would mean that there's likely some slick roads and such in the area. Now, I don't see any snow covering the ground. Maybe earlier they did have some. It might be some icy conditions there. Remember, temperatures were at or near freezing. Here's a 32-degree reading in Rock Springs. If you've ever been through there on your way to Fort Peck, Hutch has. And that is some, it's lonely country. I see more antelope than people usually. And as you take a look at this, we got some ice on the camera lens. So we have icy roads. Oh my goodness. Look at this, the power poles. This is a good way to think of this. We have winds blowing from one direction, and do you see what looks like frost on the side of those power poles that are facing us? So this image was updated here just moments ago, and what's going on is the water droplets in the clouds and the snow in the clouds is sticking to the power poles because those things are colder and freezing there. So we do have some slippery conditions setting up shop there in Montana. Now, let's look at this. Oh my, from Lodge Grass right down here through the Parkman area, this is the snow that's beginning at Aberdeen Hill. Look at that slush that's on the interstate there on I-90 at Aberdeen Hill. Basically, this is south of the Billings area, just north of the border, and what you're seeing here is some heavy banding of snow there. Now, that's not a surprise. They have a little bit more elevation there, but this goes all the way out towards Lame Deer, it looks like, in southeast Montana. So you can certainly see the flakiness there on the and the reduced visibilities as this system is beginning to take shape there. Looking for some questions here. Cheryl says, what can Park Rapids expect? Rain overnight tonight, 1 inch or 2 inches of it, very heavy rain, and then a chance of snow after a break tomorrow. It'll be windy and it will turn colder. Your 7-day planner's coming up right ahead. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with me here on Hutch's Weather. Do you have a question? Do you have something that you'd like to ask? I'd be happy to answer that for you. Gary says, Hudson, Wisconsin, any snow for that. It does look like this system will be winding its way back down through southern parts of Wisconsin and impacting the southern Great Lakes region as well. So there's a chance for seeing some significant rain in Wisconsin on the first side of the system here that moves through tonight. And then after that, the snow potential will not be until Wednesday night and into Thursday for your particular area. Hello, Southwest Minnesota, raining all afternoon. Minot, Mark, yep, indeed. Minot does have a chance for some accumulating snow there. Your neighbor's just off to your east in the Bottineau Hills, and as you go down Highway 2 out towards, say, places like Rugby and Rolla, a better chance for some snow there. Thanks for asking. Hello from McIntosh, Katie. Good to have you on board. Linda, I appreciate you watching. Will Bemidji get any of the snow? There is a chance of some flakes, but really tonight's rainfall will be the big event for you. And it does look like the coldest of the air gets kind of sucked down to western Minnesota, down towards the southern part of Minnesota as we go into Thursday and out. So you could get snuffed completely and get very little shovel trouble for Babe the Blue Ox and Paul Bunyan. Good evening, Brian. Good to see you. Howdy, Rita from the Bemidji area. And Dawn, good to have you on board as well. What is expected in Park Rapids? Very similar to what I'm expecting for the Bemidji area. There could be a few flakes mixing in, but mainly a rain event tonight, then a break. And then as this system does create some wind and snow tomorrow, that will mainly be for your neighbors just west of you. So that drive from, say Bemidji through Solway and out towards along the Highway 2 corridor towards Crookston, it will be a complete change across that path there. So very good. What will the wind speeds be? I expect gusts to be over 40 miles per hour. Let's get right to the 7-day planner. And I hope this makes sense to you because I did something, that I like to do, and that's highlight these days that Hutch says are ones we want to pay attention to. Number one, tomorrow it begins as rain here in Fargo. If you wake up and see that things are not so white here, it's not supposed to be. Same thing for you, Jack, in Lemoore and Dickey County. Things are going to push up as rain tonight. And then as we head into the day tomorrow, it looks like, again, this thing is going to push most of that moisture north of your area before whipping around as snow. And I do believe most of the snowfall will stay north of Interstate 94 or along Interstate 94. So if you're in northern Stutzman County as opposed to Dickey and Lemoore counties, a better chance at snow. I hope that helps. I did put a lot of details on this graphic so that when I post it, you'll be able to discern it. But let's go over it real quickly. Rain, 1 to 2 inches in Fargo and Minnesota. Not as much rain out to the west as we showed you. Certainly, we'll have rainfall here in Fargo, but the winter storm will begin in western and northern parts of North Dakota tomorrow, where it will snow for the better part of the day, and the wind will increase as we head into the evening. It's Tuesday night, where actually the snow should start beginning to mix for not only those of you in the Devil's Lake Basin, but also Grand Forks, and that will swing down as this system works its way through into the Southern Valley as we go through our night on Tuesday and into Wednesday. So here's my forecast by the end of the day on Wednesday heading into Thursday morning. Your impacts will be felt Wednesday. The morning and afternoon commutes will be impacted in both areas. There could be areas of difficult travel because of the winds across parts of North Dakota, and I expect very icy conditions with the cold slap of air that's going to be working its way in. Notice I have a low of 27 and a high of 27. Have I lost my mind? No. I think the morning temperature when you wake up in 27, maybe I have lost my mind, but you wake up 27, it'll be steady to slowly falling throughout the day on Wednesday, falling down to only 22 as the system exits. The system will take its snow into eastern Minnesota and then down into the southern Great Lakes region as we go into Thursday. Because it will be so windy, I don't think we get as cold. If you are in western North Dakota where the deep snow is, I'm going to stick to my guns and say you're going to be near 0 degrees in the Bottineau Hills along Highway 2 between Minot and, say, the Devil's Lake area. It's going to be tooth-chipping cold out there as we go into your Thursday night and Friday morning in particular. Now, less wind means even colder temperatures. Fargo, even with the little snow, we're going to be in the teens for our morning temperature and only 20s for the high. If it's all rain here, that will help areas. Areas that get all rain and no snow, you're going to get just a few degrees warmer. If you have more snow than, say, 4 inches, like you folks up in the Highway 2 corridor, your temperatures for highs will likely be closer to low 20s as we go into Friday, maybe even some teens out there. Fargo, the coldest day appears to be right now Saturday morning for us at 6 degrees because of the lack of wind and the crystal clear skies. And then there's another weather maker making its way through. Check it out. Can you believe this? Temperatures will be near 30 degrees. Another system brings some wind and a shot of snow to the area. This one's way out. Does it look like a winter storm? Not yet. This one's more of an Alberta Clipper type system, or it's going to skirt out of the northern Rockies and move through fairly quickly. And for us, those storms are typically less mature when they make their way into North Dakota. So we'll be watching that for you. What I am confident in is models are showing an Arctic blast as we head into the Thanksgiving holiday. It looks really cold and still unsettled on Hutch's bottom line. See if there's any more questions out here before we go. Elaine asking about Ottertail. Yeah, a chance of snow in the western part of the county as we go into Wednesday. So Wednesday, chance of some snow and wind in western Ottertail County, more so than the eastern part of the county. Same thing for Becker. Thank you very much for your kind words, Wayne. I appreciate you as well. Terry, good to have you on from Roseau County. Looks like a lot of rain for you as well. Loretta watching from Mesa, Arizona, where the snow chance is very, very low, I might add. Enjoy. Cheryl, thanks for watching. Emily, same thing goes. Any other questions? That's it. Okay, I'm going to have some shorter updates that are really more straight and to the point, but this is our time together to really go over the specifics of the details in your forecast. I've had some awesome photos uploaded here. I'll share those with you. And I really want to take this moment to encourage you and thank those of you who have already been doing so. But uploading your photos to hutchesweather.com can help me get the word out to what's going on elsewhere around the region. So we'll take a quick peek at that. We'll look at some Montana sky cams here in just a second, but let's go ahead and take a look at that. Photo uploads that have been happening by you throughout the day. And here we go. Some beautiful shots out there. Nathan, thank you for contributing this. We all know where this is. This is Warren, excuse me. Sunset behind the world's largest buffalo out there. Stutsman County, specifically Jamestown. What a beautiful sight. And look at the golden colors ahead of this weather-making system heading our way. Now, near Leonard, we had some beautiful shots out here of just the orange, lovely skies, temperatures near 50 the last couple of days. And indeed, Laura out waiting for some deer out there in the field, but taking full advantage of the scenery there as well. And who said the weather was going to be so frightful? Chris, thank you for sharing this shot. A great gray owl sunrise, and this is Roseau County. So thank you so very, very much for sharing. Here was a picture from November the 9th. Remember the Northern Lights were out there as many of you were getting out to the deer stand on the hunting opener weekend. Wow, Allie, thank you very much for uploading that colorful shot. And again, as our weather continues to change across the area, I would love to have you upload your photos. But for now, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. That is a look at our weather and what we know about it right now. It does look like that rain will be heading our way. The latest on the radar, we'll leave you with that as we're going away here. But Watertown, Sisseton, heavy rain showers pushing into your area right now. Do I see any lightning strikes in and around our area? Not until we get down into, Hays, Kansas is reporting some heavier showers of rain, and 12 lightning strikes in the area as we see on this particular map up here in the corner. Now down to 3. So a lot more of a rain event. Look at this soggy rainfall in Rochester and Minneapolis. St. Cloud is about ready to start seeing some very wet weather. Not white weather tonight. Wet weather tonight. All right, meteorologist Hutch Johnson, I appreciate all of you for watching. Have a wonderful evening. I'll keep you updated. Check back for my evening update, and I'll keep you updated on hutchesweather.com. Hutchesweather.com, my brand new website. Anytime, anywhere, you can get the latest. You can also use the interactive radar there to check it out. Remember my fine sponsors on my website, hutchesweather.com. Until next time, thanks so very much.